Joining me right now is the attorney for Dalia Dippolito, yet another black widow in my book, Brian Claypool. He is no stranger to the courtroom. Brian Claypool, I just, it hurts me to see you thrown in the same pot stewing with Dalia Dippolito. I mean, hey, all I can say is don't take a chai tea from this woman, okay? I mean, because this ain't her
Nancy,
first time at the rodeo. Her
yeah,
husband told me point blank that she tried to kill him before this with some chai tea from Starbucks. What is that anyway? I don't even know what chai tea is, but whatever it is, the husband says she tried to kill him with that and it didn't work, Brian.
I've yet to have coffee at Starbucks with Dahlia, but I'll tell you this much. You remember Nancy Law School 101? Remember that doctrine? Remember that doctrine that you got taught about fruit of the poisonous tree? It's a
Oh,
basic
not that
legal
again.
concept. Yeah, remember that one? Well, that's what this case is about. It's about police officers and law enforcement who can't break the rules, violate the law, and then use the evidence they've generated from a corrupt investigation to implicate somebody, even if you think that person is guilty. It's basic law 101.
Brian, let me understand this. Your defense, is it no longer that when she hired a hitman to kill her husband, and it's all caught on video, which I love. I love watching Dalia Dippolito, especially when they tell her the husband is dead. And she's like, no, no. I love that
Yeah.
so much, and she bends over in grief, blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I also like the one where she's got in the car with the hitman and the whole thing is bugged and got tricked out with video, and she's not just 100% sure. She says, "What? I'm a 5,000% sure I want him dead." Now, I thought your defense was that was really a script for a reality show. Is that not the
No,
defense anymore?
remember this, the second trial we did was in late November, and we got a jury, we got a hung jury in early December. And in fact, I know, brace yourself. I don't want you to pass out or
I'm
anything, Nancy,
braced.
but 5 jurors in our favor. It was 3-3, and then there were 2 alternate jurors in the last trial.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the TV shows, I believe it was Dateline, tracked them down, the 2 alternates, and guess what? I must have been able to put something in the coffee of those 5 jurors because they voted to acquit Dalia Dippolito. And in fact, Nancy,
Wait,
you raised a
wait,
good
wait, wait.
point.
How many jurors were there? 50?
Yeah, well, in Florida, and by the way, we're going to have the third trial. I don't know if you knew this. The third retrial of Dalia Dippolito takes place. It starts on June 2nd.
I could
In
not
West
be
Palm Beach, Florida.
happier. I could not be happier. I may just have to come down there and watch you, Brian Claypool.
Yeah,
Now, wait, something very serious you said before you started talking about this juror and that juror did this one and that one according to Dateline. First, they were alternates, thank God in heaven. But you said, oh, that was the defense at the second trial. So you've got a different defense? That's not the defense
no,
anymore, that it was all a script?
yeah, yeah, no, right. The reality script is not part of the defense for Dalia
Well, why? If
Dippolito,
it's the truth.
because it's not true. The reality is this, and a lot of your
Well, wait,
listeners
she
probably
sat there
don't know
in
it.
court and let her lawyer say all the things she said to a hitman. She thought that was a
Yeah,
script.
that was bad. Her
Those
first
naughty
trial, and
lawyers.
yeah, no, it's yeah. I mean, you keep coming back to this chai tea or latte. I mean, I think something must have been in that chai latte of her first lawyer to come up with that
Well, what's
kind
the
of
defense
defense.
this
I'll tell you
time? Is the defense
but
this time that the police did it? It's their fault? Oh, I'm just so
yeah,
happy.
yeah. Well, look, it's not, Nancy. It's not that it's their fault. But what a lot of your
I try not
listeners
to
might
laugh
not know.
out loud
No,
because, okay, I'm
what people
trying
don't
not to laugh
realize is
out loud.
that first phone
What?
call. People don't realize this. The first phone call made by the confidential informant to the Boynton
Mm-hmm.
Beach Police Department reported a domestic abuse concern, and that
Mm-hmm.
person reported that Dahlia said the following. Okay, here's what she said, Nancy. Here's what
Okay,
she
I'm
said.
listening. I can't wait.
Yeah, she
What?
said two things. She said, number one, I've been physically abused by my husband, and I either want to be dead or he needs to be dead. That is the context of the first phone call. And the problem that the state prosecutor is going to have in this case, again, is that nobody took serious this domestic abuse call. They didn't filter that out, vet it at all.
Hold on. Let me go back. I want to go back
ahead.
even earlier than that, Brian Claypool. Is it true that Dalia Dippolito first date with her husband was when he paid her because she was a hooker?
No, God. Yeah, I'll tell you.
She was not an escort?
Whenever I'm down and out and I need a good laugh, I'm going to call you for some quotes.
Wait, so you're telling me she was not a hooker?
that is comical. I mean,
wait, are you telling me she was not a hooker?
Act on the Dalia Dippolito case.
Was she an escort?
She was not an escort. Mike, listen, Nancy, you're believing a convicted felon who propagated that story. Here's a guy who stole money from elderly folks. Now, that's what he says. He says that she was an escort, and that's how he met her. Why would you believe somebody who lies to elderly folks and bilks money out of them? Yeah, you're a smart woman.
They were certainly perfect for each other.
You're not going to fall for that Mike Dippolito trap, are you? Watch out. Look out.
Yeah, probably. Then how did they meet?
You know what? I know you're going to think this is a joke, and I'm not trying to.
What, in Sunday school?
Coffee again, but they met at a Starbucks. Yes, it was a Starbucks. So that's where they met.
Okay, because I'm looking at evidence. I'm looking at evidence right now, which are texts from her phone, where she is, where she's saying hi, and she's using her pseudonym, and he goes, great, let's hook up next week. But question, can we forget the hourly fee and just go out for drinks?
Is that Dalia's phone or my ex-girlfriend's phone? I can't. Which one is it?
And then he says, how are you coming dressed? I would love you in a real short skirt with pink underwear, if that's okay. She writes back, sure. And she is setting up a hookup for money. So you're telling me that's not a hooker?
Yeah, that's not that. I haven't seen that.
No, absolutely not. I don't know where.
No, I haven't seen that, Nancy. That would never come in. That's never going to come into evidence anyway. You know that, even if that's true. And
I didn't say it was coming into evidence. I'm asking you what the truth is. No, I'll tell you where I saw it.
Look,
it's in the New Times at Broward Palm Beach newspaper. That's where it is. The New Times.
I believe my.
It's printed.
I believe my client. I believe that's fiction, and there's no proof that's her phone, and that she's making those text messages. It's all hearsay. So I don't put any value into that at all. I mean, I've known her for over two years now. I've got to know her family. Nobody wants to know the human side of her. I mean, everybody.
I think I know the human side. I think I know that, Brian Claypool. I think I know the human side because she was on house arrest with her mother and had the right to go to her lawyer and to church. And somehow she got pregnant. How'd that happen? On house arrest?
Yeah.
I think she went somewhere else.
Hey, you aren't suggesting I'm the dad, are you?
No, I hadn't thought of that, but now that you brought it up.
Come on. Hey, wait, come on. Are you suggesting that at one of those lawyers, one of her meetings with the lawyers, maybe that didn't take place at the legal office? Who knows? I don't know.
I am just looking at all the texts that this woman is sending, but you still say she was never a hooker. Okay. It looks like you're under Dalia Dippolito's spell. I'm worried about you, Brian Claypool.
Hey, Nancy, you know that Dalia actually mentors some of the people at church. She religiously goes to church.
Oh, dear Lord in heaven.
Friday. So, people. You've been in cases before where people are portrayed one way in the public, but they're not really. That's not really who they are. So Dalia's
So
got
let
a
me
bad
understand
rap.
this. You say she was not a hooker, that she met her husband /
Not a hooker. What else?
would be murder victim, At a Starbucks,
she never tried to put water or engine coolant in her husband's coffee. That was another fictional
it was
story.
chai
That was
tea.
good comedy. Go ahead.
And then you're saying the first defense that she sat there and lived through, where they claimed in front of a jury that all the things she said caught on tape, and the way she cried and carried on when the cops told her he was dead, but actually it was a sting to see what she would do. They found out about it through the alleged hitman, and the husband wasn't killed. And then when she saw the husband at the police station, she goes, Mikey, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Do what? Why would she say that? Anyway, okay, so you're saying that was not true. So the defense this time is going to be what? What's your defense?
Yeah, the defense this time is that the police department not only violated its own policies and procedures in trying to set her up and lure her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it's like, Nancy? You know what it was like? Have you ever gone fishing as a girl growing up? You throw that line out into the lake and you start twisting and pulling your line in and trying to hook a fish. That's exactly what this police department did. They were luring her in, hooking her in, trying to get her on.
Yeah, because they have so many resources. They don't have enough dopers and killers and sex offenders. They got to go try and get Dalia Dippolito, not a hooker. Okay, so they spend their spare time trying to frame an innocent person. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. You want to know why? Let me tell you.
Why?
Nancy, you always talk about motive, don't you? Right? You always talk about motive. Let me give you the motive real quick. We found an email.
I'm on my pins and needles.
Yeah, okay. All right, brace yourself again. I don't want the paramedics over
Braced.
the second time, but here's another one. We found an email for the second trial. The chief of police is sending an email out to everybody at the police department saying, hey, let me know when the first episode of Cops comes out with Dalia in it so we can have a big viewing party. Ha, ha, ha. Well, gee whiz.
That really doesn't bother me.
They're more worried about a good TV show for cops than they are upholding the law.
No, they're not.
That's your defense.
Look, Dalia Dippolito tried to kill her husband at least once so she could get a hold of his condo, and it was all on video, and that happened to be when Cops was in that jurisdiction filming,
No.
and that's what happened. And then when it was all over, she's so obviously guilty, they were going to watch it and get a kind of a laugh off of it because they couldn't believe anybody would be so darn dumb as Dalia Dippolito.
Well, Nancy, I'm going to throw you a consolation prize now. If
Okay,
I
throw me.
get Dalia, here's my consolation prize to you. If I get Dalia acquitted in June, I'm going to force you to meet her. We're going to all meet for coffee at Starbucks.
I want to meet her, but I'm not drinking any coffee. I'm not drinking any coffee.
Cafe. Okay? You're going to have a face-to-face with her, okay?
I'm going to bring my own. I'm bringing my own coffee in a thermos. You can count on that, friend. Okay. Brian Claypool, I'm afraid the defense is going to change by the time you finally take it to trial, Brian Claypool. Okay, Claypool. See you in court, man. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah. See you soon, Nancy. Thank you.
Bye, love.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Alan. Alan, did you hear that?
That was incredible. That was amazing.
Yeah,
I love that guy. He's still here. Hello.
If you do get her acquitted, I want to come to that coffee brunch.
See, what is it with you men? Can't you see through her? Don't get near her with a 10-foot pole, and for Pete's sake, don't have coffee with her. Trying to save your darn lives here. I'm trying to save your life. Claypool, you better watch out. Claypool, I'm serious.
It's over, but I'm not going to let you look.
She would love nothing more than to marry. She would love to nothing more than to marry a successful lawyer like you, and then off you.
I mean, there were rumors floating around that the kid was mine for a while, but.
Well,
Nancy,
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Brian, but I have not heard that.
Look, you already think so lowly of me for defending her. I don't want you to think worse. I can assure you one fact. It's not my baby, okay? Not.
Good to know. Good to know. And you know what Shakespeare said? Methinks thou doth protest too much.
You're too funny.
Again, I want to thank Simply Safe for being with us on this podcast. Simply Safe, thank you for making home security affordable, because I want to protect my family, and I'm sure everybody else does too. Thank you, Simply Safe. Nancy Grace, Crime Stories, signing off. Goodbye, friend.